is Andrew Edwards, and I'm going to be doing a refutation speech on Matt Goldberg's claim of fact speech. Matt's main propositions are the nitrous oxide is safe for cars. His main claims, or secondary claims, are the insufficient air-fuel ratio, adding nitrous oxide to a car that can't handle it, and adding too much nitrous oxide to a car are all things that basically make cars' engines fail, not the nitrous oxide itself. I will be refuting these three factors. First, let us start by examining Mr. Goldberg's first claim about the air-fuel ratio of a car. Matt explains that the air-fuel ratio is a simple process that keeps nitrous oxide from harming your car, and it's actually a lot less complicated than it seems. First, let us talk about this first statement. Matt states that all it is the amount of oxygen and gasoline that is mixed into each cylinder. This is nitrous oxide. Well, this sounds pretty easy if you are studying to become a mechanical engineer like Mr. Goldberg, that is. The rest of us are the guys and girls with melted pistons waiting for the AAA to pick us up on the side of the road. Because we didn't know simple knowledge, such as how to properly use nitrous oxide. Secondly, Matt goes against his own argument about how nitrous oxide is safe by stating that if you have an insufficient amount of fuel in your tank, your car's pistons will melt. The second statement that Matt explains is that old or worn-out engines can't handle the strain of nitrous oxide. This claim is opposing his argument once again. He is just adding to the reason nitrous oxide could be fatal to your car. He actually even states that if your car has the smallest crack in the engine block, a catastrophic failure will occur. The third and last statement Matt uses is that the amount of nitrous oxide people use is often too much. Now, okay, yeah, they could be using too much, but using too much nitrous oxide will send the engine over its maximum tolerance, thus destroying the engine. He even states that a most common mistake is using too much nitrous on the stock block. The word common states that it's very easy to do this, therefore most people will blow up their engine by using too much nitrous oxide. In conclusion, nitrous oxide is bad for your car. The only way it would be good for your car is if you don't have too much nitrous oxide, too little of gasoline, your car is under 100,000 miles, your engine is in pristine condition, and you drive a rice rocket that can handle the power of nitrous oxide. And I'm sure that we can all afford such luxurious cars because, well, let's face this, none of us are college students in a recession, and we all have well-paying jobs because they're so easy to find in this economy. Listening to my previous satirical statement, you should be able to understand by now that nitrous oxide is very dangerous for the average car on the street. Thank you and good day.
All right, well, your own individual research is a little bit underdeveloped, but I thought that the presentation compensates for a lot of that. You've got some good arguments here. I want to start with that last closing part, because when you go through that whole summary of all of the conditional statements that are required in order for nitrous oxygen to be safe and effective to be used in a car, you basically point out the main problem with the issue that the advocates presented, and that is that this is not a typical situation. It's a unique situation or circumstance that isn't going to be applicable for most people, and although the sarcasm and ridicule might be seen as being somewhat inappropriate, I think in the context of this argument it works really well. You use the advocate's own evidence on their points to support your position. You explain why that is problematic. I like the idea of your explanation about something being common, and then, like I said, that whole string at the end really makes it work well. And the sarcasm in the presentation, I think, doesn't always work, but in this particular case, I think it does work pretty effectively.